Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape From Tarkov video. Today I'm going to cover my initial thoughts. I've been playing this for about 48 hours or so of the patch and go through all the issues and some of the stuff that was added, and we'll discuss in a bit of detail what is been going on. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. All right, so patch 16 went live about 2 to 3 days ago. I've been playing it a lot. I've had a lot of mixed feelings. Honestly, I've been fairly frustrated, particularly on that first day. And it wasn't for no reason at all. On the very first day, I actually made a tweet, and the tweet said, worst wipe in existence of Tarkov. The wipe, leaving the Flea unwiped. Rolled back a raid where I got task items and a LEDX out. Can't hear people moving. GG. I tried to be optimistic, but what the mate. Obviously, that's a very frustrated tweet, and then there was some mixed responses back. A lot of people agreeing and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to elaborate on what's been going on and why I actually think that. And I still believe this is the worst wipe in Tarkov's history from what I've seen. So, first up, what actually happened? So when the servers went down, they wiped the game, and then the server went back up. People downloaded the game, and when they entered the game, the Fleamarket hadn't been wiped. Everything was still up there. So anyone who had downloaded the game fast enough was able to actually buy anything off the Fleamarket because they didn't level lock it. They just time locked putting up stuff on the Fleamarket. So at level 1, you could open up the Fleamarket and there was literally like marked room keys, all the quest keys, and people were buying them like crazy. Their solution to this was about after 10 or 15 minutes, they took the game back down again. They wiped the Fleamarket. But instead of doing a full wipe of people's accounts at the same time, they left everyone's accounts. So the people that were lucky enough to buy stuff actually still had lab key cards, yellow key cards, and all the quest keys, everything. So it was only a small portion of the player base that got access to that. But it's still like, why not just fully wipe it and make it so everyone's back to normal? I think an extra 20 minutes would have been perfectly fine for people to wait for the database to get wiped again, so then everyone's on a level playing field. But that was the very first hiccup of many. So then after that, we were able to play the game. Server stability was actually pretty decent. I don't think we had too many times where the actual servers went down over the first 24 hours. There was maybe about an hour where the servers were a little bit slow to get in and out of raids, but they held, which was good. But then the bugs started happening. For example, the rollbacks. So what you'd do is you go into a raid as a PMC and you would literally extract from the raid or you would die in the raid and you would roll back out of the raid back to where you went in. So if you survived like I did, I survived a woods raid, had a LEDX, got out of the raid, had a quest item as well, and then it said, no, I just didn't even go into the raid. The raid didn't exist. And I was back to the starting gear I had. On PvE servers, if anyone took out a present, there was a lot of issues. No one really was able to progress on PvE servers, and this bug had been going at least for the first 48 hours, and it was a lot of issues for a lot of people. So this is just the next one. All right, I'll go through them. Scav runs. If you died in on a scav run, your queue timer was reset, and you could just go straight back into another one. Cool bug, really handy on the start day of a wipe. If you were to get scav on scav violence, whatever, you could actually go in. But yeah, insta queues. If you survive the raid, you'd actually have to wait your 18 or 20 minutes or whatever it was. There was a lot of people that got stuck on somewhere between 95 and 99% of loading map, and they weren't able to get into a raid. So, particularly on ground zero, for some reason, it was that map that was the worst. A lot of people getting stuck on going into a raid on ground zero, getting stuck on like 99% loading map. Game would crash. They wouldn't be able to get in. Audio. I've got a clip that you can listen to where I was fighting some people on woods and it sounded like a chihuahua was yapping at my feet. I actually thought my wife was walking into the room. It was so confusing. As a whole, I would say the new audio system, 95% of the time, maybe even more, 99% of the time, feels great. It feels fairly intuitive. Inside, outside, still scuffed as fuck. I'm not going to go into the issues of audio, but there's just these weird situations where it's so weird. Listen to the clip. The fuck is that noise? And so you can see how it just is whack. Micro stutters are back, and also minor rubber banding. So you'd be running along and all of a sudden you would have a micro like stutter or you'd rubber band back a little bit. And these are prevalent. Like we're talking 10 to 15 times a raid you'll have them. And it's just happening all the time. And these haven't been fixed even after they've done a hot fix. Now, some of these issues I will say have been fixed, or the first hot fix for some of these issues have been solved. For For example, the Scav runs one, you no longer get like instant Q times if you die. But yeah, there is still issues with the Microstutters. I had another example where I went into a BTR, but it wouldn't let me in. And then instead of kicking me out, I became the BTR. So then I was just moving around the map as a BTR, but on red screen, because I was doing duos at the time, he could see me still standing outside the BTR, just getting shot by the sniper scav. I had to Alt F4, reload back into the game. Another bug. Going into another issue that just happened, and this was one from last wipe, where when you transfer to a different map, you sometimes spawn in with other people. I was literally doing the new Korovod event, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I transferred from Shoreline to Lighthouse, and I literally had 3 people. One of them was literally on his first raid, spawned with me on Lighthouse, and then I just shot them all in the back because they didn't even know I was, not part of their team. They just thought, hey, they probably just thought I was part of their team. So that is just the bugs and issues that I've experienced personally, or I know are the most prevalent, but there's a lot. I'll talk about the actual stuff that's new and added, but the main reason why I'm frustrated at this stuff, and people were starting to get at me because it's like, oh, you said give it 2 weeks and all that. I said give it a couple of weeks to try out the whole Fleamarket, not being available for 2 weeks, and also the founding raid for Hideout. The Tarkov player base as a whole, and this is the one takeaway to take from this whole video, the Tarkov player base as a whole is getting more and more toxic, and it's bleeding players like crazy. The health of Escape From Tarkov, in my opinion, it's every single wipe, less and less people are playing, and more are just saying, I'm done with it. There's too many cheaters. There's too many bugs. It's becoming a massive issue. Out of anything that was going to happen out of this wipe, having the most smoothest and bug-free experience would be the best thing to have for the health of the game, so more people are excited to come back to the game. Unfortunately, when there's a lot of issues like this, and there was one other bug that I actually didn't talk about, was the quest where you hand in to complete unlocking Jaeger. So if you were doing your mechanic task for introduction for Jaeger, you hand in the task, it was bugging out, and then you couldn't get Jaeger unlocked. So people were having that issue as well. So the only way to fix that would be to wipe your account, but you can't do that because you have to wait 3 weeks. And because at the start of a wipe, the BSG makes it so that you have to have a 3-week period before you can reset your account again, so you can't send all your stuff to your friends and then reset your account. So that's another reason that would just scare people away from playing the game. And this is the issue that I have. And this is why it's the worst wipe in existence for player retention, scaring away the player base that we're trying to return. And this video probably won't even help the situation, but I just want to be honest. So as a wipe as a whole, from that point of all the bugs and issues, that's where and why I made that tweet. And that's a lot more detailed than that.
I've been suffering with Ligma for over 40 years.
Ligma dictates every aspect of my life. I just don't know if I can go on.
I've lost everything to Ligma. My relationships, my job, my dignity.
Ligma comes out of nowhere and takes everything.
I am a Ligma member.
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 Hi, I'm Dr. Pestily. The medical Ligma dictionary states that Ligma is found within 80% of some adults. But thankfully, there is hope. I have joined forces with the laboratory scientists at Supps to fight Ligma. And now we can cure Ligma with Pestily's Antidote. Pestily's Antidote by Supps is packed with vitamins, antioxidants, a moist boost of energy. It's like an anti-Ligma cocktail.
I choose my own destiny with Pestily's Antidote.
Thanks to Pestily's Antidote, my Ligma is cured.
Pestily's Antidote has given me my life back.
Now that Pestily's Antidote has cured my Ligma, I can focus on a life with impotence.
Ligma member no more with Pestily's Antidote.
Dr. Pestily MD 100% guarantees non-liability for any health side effects. Side effects may include
going into the stuff that's actually added to the wipe. Korovod. The Korivod event has just started. You have to go to 5 different maps. You have to run up to a Christmas tree with the new fuel in the game, put down the fuel, or you have to repair the generator with the fuel, and then defend it for 5 minutes where it keeps breaking and Scavs will charge you. That's cool. It's a really fun event. Music's playing. I actually think it's really cool, but the problem is then you have to go to the next map and you have to do all 5 maps without dying with the fuel. It's insane. I'd be very surprised if anyone does this solo. And if they do, they got very lucky. Just for the fact that if other people are trying to do it, it's just the Scavs charging. Lighthouse, it's right, really, really open at the fuel station. So you're in the middle of the map, and the music is super loud. So you can hear it from like 100 meters away that someone's actually fixed the generator. So good luck. If someone can do it solo, well done. But I'll probably end up doing it as a squad because I just don't see it being realistic to complete as a solo without dedicating days of my life to trying to get that done. The customs rework is really cool. They've made actually the main passage through the middle of the map where the sniper scav and the big silo in the middle, that is all now opened up and there's all buildings there. It's made it so there's no more real choke points on the map. You've got plenty of options to flank around. There are a lot of angles to get shot at now. So standing still in the middle of the map or anywhere near the middle of the map, you're asking to get sniped because you can get some pretty vantage points from the tower and all that construction area in the middle of the map. Winter is back. And winter looks great. I actually love the snowdrift. It makes the map feel kind of lifelike, I guess. It's almost like, hey, there's like snow up against this wall. It's just really immersive. If BSG do anything well, it's they do map design. Map design is on point and amazing. And the winter looks amazing. And I got nothing else to really say about that. The prestige system, which I thought was going to be fairly attainable, probably won't be attainable for a lot of people. You have to get level 55, which isn't actually as hard as you think it is. Once you get to level 46, your dailies can pretty much get you a level a day. You have to get the Kappa container. So you have to do the whole collector series, which is a lot of quests now. It's test drive part 1 to 5 is a challenge in itself. And then there's about 190 other quests you still have to do besides the test drive quests. And then a few hideout upgrades. And the hideout upgrades aren't too bad, except for now you have to do it all fan raid. And then also you need to get some skills up, which strength and endurance level 20 isn't too bad, but charisma level 20 might be difficult. I have to double check, but I'm fairly confident you can level up charisma by repairing body armors and guns. If I remember correctly, and if that's the case, it won't be too difficult to get the charisma to level 20. But that Kappa container is going to be very difficult. Continuous healing. I tried using continuous healing early on, but a few times that I got into combat whilst I was still healing, or I just wanted to heal one limb whilst in combat, it really was frustrating. I would turn the option off in the menu option on when you go to settings and then overall. I would leave continuous healing off. And if you want to do a continuous heal, hold the heal key, scroll your mouse wheel down to full heal and do it that way. But just when you're healing in general, I would just heal one limb at a time. Hidden Exfils are located throughout the maps. You find an item within the raid, it's a little white piece of paper, and it opens up an exfil. For example, on customs, it's like ZB12, which used to be just like a normal extract when the light was on, and also the smuggler's boat is now a hidden exfil. The priority window is actually a really cool thing. So the way it works, when I was reading the patch notes, it was confusing, but the way it works is if you open a junk box now, and you scroll through the stash and you hold control and left click items, it will move all the items across to the junk box. So now, whenever you open up any sort of container, you can quickly move items into that container using this new priority window system. So big W there on quality of life. The new audio system, I don't really have much positive to say about it. I just wish they would just simplify it. BSG is trying to make what I would call as an immersive audio experience. The problem with the immersive audio experience is, whilst it can be immersive, it's very frustrating when you're trying to figure out, is that a player? Is it above me? Is he below me? And it makes it very confusing. I would just like simple audio. Other games do it really well. Hunt Showdown, is a perfect example of a really intense audio system, but I've never really liked Tarkov audio since, 2018. I'll leave it at that. I'll let you guys decide on what you think, but a perfect example, if you are playing Escape From Tarkov, is run along next to a wall, really close to the wall, and there's a reverb of you running, bouncing off the wall back. So it sounds like someone is actually running on the other side of the wall to you. So there's like an echo from you running against the wall back to you, and then it sounds like you literally have a second person running next to you. It's confusing. I don't like it. Recoil. They did some changes to the recoil system. I haven't really noticed it too much. So for anyone freaking out, worried about if they were going to screw over the recoil system, perfectly fine in my opinion. It doesn't really seem any different to me. I don't know if anyone's got any comparisons from the previous wipe, but yeah, I've been shooting full auto plenty and haven't had too many issues with the recoil. For the most probably controversial questions that have been happening over the Fleamarket, being level 2 weeks lock on the Fleamarket, the way I see it is it's really good. Everyone seems to, just be playing the game like normal and progressing just like normal. However, the people like me who have all day and night to play video games, we might be well and truly past having access to the Fleamarket, but in say 2 weeks time when the Fleamarket opens up, there's going to be a horde of people that can actually access the Fleamarket at the same time. So instead of someone like me getting a massive advantage over having early access to the Fleamarket and being able to do excel even further ahead, I now have to wait for everyone for 2 weeks, with everyone for 2 weeks, so then we all get access to the Fleamarket at the same time. I imagine that it's going to be a chaotic couple of days of buying and selling and all that kind of stuff, particularly with quest keys. But overall, I think it's a good thing. The found-in raid hideout, I probably think is a little bit unnecessary as it's slowing down the progression of the hideout. But it's taken me so long to find certain items for the hideout to upgrade that I'm well and truly past quest that I needed the hideout for to upgrade the to get past quest. So for example, unlocking the med center to craft Saluas, I was well and truly past Saluas before I even got the items to upgrade the med center and other places like that too. So for example, lavatory, it took me ages to find the toothpaste. And I would have used the lavatory to craft items I needed for other quests. So I think that one's probably a little bit unnecessary. Some items aren't required to be found in raids. So for example, the factory map, Leatherman, and I think the Wi-Fi cameras. And later on, there is a tool set that isn't required to be found in raid. So that's nice because you have to find 9 tool sets at the moment found in raid just for the hideout alone. Then you also need to get tool sets for tasks like farming part 1. Anyway, that's my initial thoughts of the patch 0.16. Hopefully you guys understand a little better what I mean about it being the most, I don't know, what did I say exactly? The worst fucking wipe in existence of Tarkov. I have serious concerns about player retention because of all these issues. And this is just the issues that I know of and experienced. I'm sure there's plenty of other ones out there. Probably the only thing I didn't touch on was Unity 2022. I don't think it really makes any difference initially. Hopefully it'll help them speed up the rate in which they can fix a lot of these issues. Because as it current stands, I think more and more people are going to either switch to PvE or just become watchers of Escape From Tarkov instead of players. I'll leave this here. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Let me know if you've experienced any good, bad, or stuff in Tarkov. I'm live on Twitch right now, and I've been having a blast playing in the last 24 or 48 hours. The first day was rough with all the bugs, but they have done at least one hotfix. But yeah, that's all I got. So lastly, I'll see you next time.